Sadhu, good morning everyone. Hope I'm audible and visible to all of you. Good morning, Matt King. If I'm audible and visible, do let me know in the comment section. Today is 28th October 2025, and my name is Shubham Sagar. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. This is my Telegram channel. I'll be sharing this particular PDF without annotation by 9:30 a.m. on this particular Telegram channel. So you will get this Indo analysis PDF. Cool, sir. Before we talk about yesterday, good morning, Harshini. So hope I'm audible and visible. Let me check myself as well. Connect with me on LinkedIn. This is my Telegram channel. So yeah, I can hear myself clearly. So let's start the discussion without wasting any time. And before we start the discussion, there's one thing which I need to tell you people. Again, nothing so extraordinary. So thing is, yeah, it is extraordinary. So I keep on telling you people about donation. So yesterday, who donated? Gajanan donated. So thank you, Gajanan. Whenever you watch it, or if you are still here. So thank you, Gajanan. Every donation matters, and yours is no exception. So very again, thank you so much. So let's start the discussion without wasting any time. So yesterday I gave you people these two questions as homework. Janjatiya Gaurav Divas is celebrated to do what? What is the answer, guys? And let's do it fast. Again, there are tricky articles today which we have to do. Tricky and important articles. As there is always. There is no day where you don't have tricky articles, right? So Janjatiya Gaurav Divas is celebrated to do what? What is the answer, guys? Jeopardy's fast. Honor tribal leaders and communities of India mark the adoption of PESA Act, commemorate the birth anniversary of tribal freedom fighter Veer Surendra Sai, celebrate the International Day of Indigenous People. So, Janjatiya Gaurav Divas, as Iltus has stated, honor tribal leaders and communities of India. Very good, yeah. MCQ 13. Western Ghats are highly vulnerable due to several reasons. Which of the following are among the key threats? What we have discussed in yesterday's editorial, the first article which we have done yesterday. Hydropower projects, climate change, exotic plantation, overfishing. What is the answer? Very good, Venkat. So Matt King has also given the answer. Harshini has given the answer for 13th question. Overfishing we have never read. That overfishing is leading to, vulnerability or increased vulnerability of Western Ghats. The other three are the reason: hydropower projects, climate change, and exotic plantation. So A, or the first one, 1, 2, 3, as stated by Harshini and Iltush. Very good, yeah. Very, very, very good. Let's move on. Yeah, my teeth hurts. So let's come back to the present and let's talk about today's article. First article, page number 6, editorial related to GS2 governance, GS2 constitutional bodies, about election commission, sir. And now they want to do it in other states, 12 states and union territories. Special intensive revision. See, revision of electoral rules happen periodically, but this is not a normal revision of electoral rules. This is special intensive revision. Why it is done? If you feel like there is some fraud, there is some duplicity, there are some, like there are too many errors in electoral rules, then it is done. It is not done annually. It's a special exercise. Although revision of electoral rules happens periodically, but this special intensive revision is a, as the name suggests, special exercise to check care of, let's say, dead people. So you are dead, but your name is still in electoral roll. Migrant. Let's say I am staying in Gurgaon. I never go to Bihar. So my voter identity card will also be of, should be, if I'm living here for an appreciable period. That is one of the means disadvantage also. Let's say I'm a temporary migrant, and if in sir my name is removed, then what? So it's not like, I'm in Gurgaon, Gurugram, so I'm staying here for, let's say, 2 years, 3 years. Then it's fine if you remove my name from Bihar. But let's say I'm staying here for 10 days and I go there and I see my name removed, then it is not correct. So then there are certain issues. We'll talk about that. And this will happen in 12 states and UTs more. That's what this article is talking about. Good morning, Vikas. So let's talk about this article. Let's try to understand the pros and cons of SIR. Election Commission of India, established under Article 324. Earlier, from 1950 to 1989, you used to have one CEC, Chief Election Commissioner rather, and from 1989 onwards, you have CEC plus two ECs plus two ECs. CEC, he can be removed in the same manner as Judge of Supreme Court. ECs, or these two ECs, they can be removed by, like precedent on the recommendation of CEC, and they are there for 6 years or 65 years, whichever is earlier. So these are some facts which you already know if you have read polity, right? So now what is happening after Bihar? ECI has launched a SIR of electoral roll in 12 states and UTs. So 12 is a big number. And what this editorial is talking about, Bihar SIR raised concern related to disenfranchisement, as we have just discussed. There is Article 326. UPSC has already asked a question on right to vote. After this, sir, in Bihar, what happened? See, gender ratio in Bihar final roll dropped from 907 to 892 women per woman, means per man. And we have seen, and according to this editorial, they have seen a particular, means the areas where there were higher female turnout when it comes to voting, and maybe the people who did not vote for the elected government, there the number of females were excluded more. So again, we people have to be very, very vigilant, because we understand one thing: when we talk about election should not only be fair, it should also be seen as fair. Sometimes people lose faith in the whole democratic process. That should not happen. So again, now here again there will be some technical terms which you have to understand, and these terms are important. What are these terms? BLAs and BLOs. How BLAs are different from BLOs. If you understand this, then again you are understanding the basic premise of this editorial. So who are these BLAs? BLAs are booth level agents. They are agents of political parties. Their work, see, who will be most impacted if names are removed here, there, everywhere? Obviously, these political parties, everything is, they want their people name in this particular electoral roll. So BLAs are political party agents. Their work is there, like, to ensure the verification part. And BLOs are booth level officers. They are officers of EC, Election Commission. So don't get confused in these two things. So ECI, Election Commission of India, they keeps on saying that people, citizens, its onus is on us to ensure the verification whether our name is there in electoral roll or not, along with BLAs. Now there are many people who have issues with BLA. They are saying that no, don't put the onus of verification on BLAs or booth level agents, because they are agents of political parties, and again it will give a political connotation to verification. So that is one thing which you have to keep in mind. The important part is, what is the basic difference between BLA and BLO? Who are booth level agents, who are booth level officers, who are officers of EC, who are officers belonging to political party. ECI reaction means reaction related to why so much people were excluded in Bihar, sir. They are saying that they can register through BLAs. These booth level agents, they can talk to people. If, let's say, I am a voter of BJP and I feel like my name is excluded, then there will be some BLA, booth level agents of BJP. I can contact them and they will go to ECI and they will ensure my name is re-registered. But then why BLA? Why do we need BLA? Why we are making it so political? Following a Supreme Court intervention, ECI had to publish list of excluded voters with regions, which again corrected some errors. So again, I am not saying ECI is not impartial or it is partial. That's for you people to decide. The basic rationale is we should be very vigilant when these exercises are carried out in our states. Let's say 12 states more, they will be doing it. Same model with minor adjustment is now being replicated across other states. So what are the things which are important from exam perspective, which you have to keep in mind? Revision of electoral rolls happen periodically, guys. People die, people migrate, all these things happen. People become, they reach the age of 18, all these things happen. But this is not a general revision. This is a special revision. It does not happen annually. It happens when there are severe allegations of fraud in a particular state. So maybe in these 12 states also there are some frauds. So maybe some party is not winning there, will not go there. A new notice period of about 54 days has been added, because there was a case also in Karnataka from one house. Rahul Gandhi sir, he talked about how there were so many voters there, this and that. So now ECI is also looking into this. A new notice period of about 54 days has been added for hearing and verification. If you feel like you have been left out means, in a problematic manner, if you were a temporary migrant, I was in Gurgaon for 10 days, my name should not have been removed from Bihar's electoral roll, you can file, or you can go and address your grievance or talk about your grievance within this particular notice period of 54 days. Again, these things does not concern us much. You have to understand the difference between BLO, BLA. All these things are important. So now there is a term here, enumeration. Again, these terms are important. What is enumeration? So these BLO block, when we are talking about BLO and BLA, see this word, booth level officers, booth level agents. So BLO, these are the people who will go door to door to ensure the people who will be voting, they are there and they are ever waiting, all the things are satisfied. So this is enumeration process. So there is a time limit. And why Bihar sir was criticized? Because people were like, not enough time was given for enumeration, not enough time was given for verification. It was not like, Bihar election date was not known to people 3 years back. You could have done this thing 3 years back, 2 years back. What is, why are you doing it in such a hurry? And that's why people were worried, and that's why we should be vigilant. The article urges civil society, media, and political parties to maintain close scrutiny of this SIR process. Again, nobody's talking about the partiality or impartiality of election commission. It's just about we have to be vigilant, because election should not only be fair, it should also be seen as a fair in a democratic setup like India. Failure to do so could undermine the integrity of India's electoral democracy. Blah, blah, blah. You can read this. Now, if we solve a particular question, mains question, SIR of electoral rules, though aimed at improving accuracy, poses a risk of exclusion and disenfranchisement. Discuss. So here there will be two parts. What is the objective? How it is aimed at improving accuracy? It is aimed at removing people who are dead. It is aimed at including people who are above 18. It is aimed at removing people who are migrants, who have settled somewhere else. So this is the purpose. So this will improve accuracy, right? And then what is the risk of exclusion and disenfranchisement? Oh my God, that is a tongue twister. Disenfranchisement. Then you will talk about what happened in Bihar, how so many women were excluded, how the whole sex ratio declined when it comes to voting rights. So this will lead to, in a way, undermining of Article 326. Whenever you write governance related questions, do try to talk about articles. That will give your answer much more weightage. And in the intro part, you can talk about what is SIR, and this is not an annual exercise. This is a special revision and conducted by ECI. ECI established under Article 324. That's it. Blah blah blah. Cool. So this is what you have to address here in intro. You can talk about how ECI periodically revises electoral rules to maintain. You can. I am not reading this. I have just told you what has happened. This is not an annual exercise. This is a special exercise. Objective: to remove names of deceased or migrated voters, new eligible voters, to correct inaccuracies. Implementation process conducted through BLOs. So BLOs, they are election commission officers. BLA, they are agents of political parties. Claims and objection periods are there, notice period is there, all these things are there, but still in Bihar it happened in a hurried manner, which many people did not like. Key concern: disenfranchisement risk, which happened in Bihar. Gender ratio decreased from 907 to 892, which is actually a lot. Short timelines, blah, blah, blah. 1 month for enumeration. These booth level officers, they are going door to door. 1 month you have given them time. Bihar is such a big state. Burden on citizens and booth level agents. Over reliance on booth level agents who are part of political parties. Temporary migrants. I have stayed in Gurgaon for 10 days. That does not mean my name should be removed from Bihar's electoral roll. Article 326 guarantees adult suffrage. If more and more names are removed under the pretext of SIR, it will undermine Article 326, which you have to keep in mind. Cool, sir. And then they are talking about aim, intention of SIR is good to clean and modernize voter rolls. But yes, people have to be vigilant. Accuracy has to be balanced with inclusiveness, Again, you can read all these things. So hope you understood how you have to address this question, why this particular question is important. Very important, in fact. Not only important, very important. SIR is in news continuously from last 6-7 months. So again, you have to prepare it thoroughly from both pre as well as mains perspective. Now let's have a look at MCQ 1. Read all option, use option elimination here. So we are talking about which of the following statement correctly describes SIR of electoral rules. It is a periodic process conducted annually by EC, undertaken only in states or UTs where large-scale errors or migrations have affected voter rolls, allows inclusion, deletion, and correction of names in the electoral roll. So Harshini, Mad King, Intush, all of you have given the answer. The answer is it is not conducted annually. This is special exercise. So it happens when there are allegations of frauds, etc. So if first is wrong, if you eliminate first, you will get the answer, that is C, as stated by Harshini, Matking, and Iltush. Very good here. Then MCQ2, why is excessive reliance on booth level agents considered problematic in electoral roll verification? Why? Why is it problematic? Harshini has given the answer for second question. BLAs are politically affiliated, compromising neutrality. As we have discussed, booth level agents, they are agents of political parties. Booth level officers, they are, part of election commission. So when you are giving them the role of verification, you can understand why they are so eager to do verification, because they want their party to win. But on the other hand, it makes the whole thing very politically charged. So that's why. So Harshini, Iltosh, Matt King, B. Very good here. MCQ 3. Under which article of Constitution is Election Commission of India established? Article 310, Article 330, Article 340, Article 324. Hashin has given the answer for third one, Article 324. Now this is your homework. Find out Article 324 lies under which part of Indian Constitution? Which part of Constitution? Maybe if they want to make it tougher, they will ask you the part thing. So Harshini, Matt King, Iltush, all of you have given the answer. Very good. MCQ 4. Which of the following elections does the Election Commission of India not conduct? So, again, I may not have told you this in this particular lecture, but we have discussed this earlier. Even you can have some pre existing knowledge of your own. Try to solve this question, try to answer me. Otherwise, I will tell you. Oh my God, Harshini is so fast, just like a wow. So election to Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, all these things are done by Election Commission. Election to State Legislative Assembly, Legislative Councils, all these things are done by Election Commission. Election to Office of President, Vice President, all these things are done by Election Commission. But Panchayati Raj institution, for that you have State Election Commission. This is not done by Election Commission of India. So C is the answer, as stated by Harshini, then Matt King, then Iltush. Very good. Let's move on to next article of the day, which is associated with GS2 and GS3. Page 6 editorial. Big tech's contempt for Indian public health. Who are these big tech or big tech giants? Google, Meta, Apple, like Facebook we have just discussed, Apple, and all these are coming under big tech. What is the basic article all about? We'll talk about it. So GS2 governance. Here we will talk about different acts. How these big techs, they don't pay attention to Indian acts. They're like, we don't impunity. They disregard it. GS3, why? Because it is also related to science and tech to a certain extent. So what is happening? Why Dinesh S. Thakur, who is an author of Myth of Drug Regulation, Prashant Reddy T, who is a co-author again, why they are so angry with big techs? Because they say that these big tech giants, Google, Meta, Apple, etc., they don't pay attention, they don't pay regard to Indian laws, and especially related to drug regulation. And it is not only confined to drug regulation. There is also one act, PCP&DT Act, Prenatal Diagnostic Act. We'll talk about it. They have paid disregard to this act also. Time and again, they get away with this. And what they are getting away with, you will understand. So in 1927, drug regulation was discussed. 27 years later, there was an act which was passed. Drugs and Magic's Remedies Objectionable Advertisement Act. What is the basic purpose? You may see, Patanjali, Baba Ramdev, etc. Or not. I'm not naming them. Maybe they are not. Maybe some other bodies that during COVID time also, drink this, COVID will be cured, drink this, diabetes will be done, this and that. So this particular act, DMRA Act, it prohibits advertisements for drugs claiming to treat 54 specific medical conditions, diabetes, etc. You cannot, do ad that will cure this and that, when research is still going on. So please don't do, or don't post such ad. But what these big techs are doing, they are still posting such ad. And then when government answers questions from them, they're like, we are intermediary, we are not the one who are making these ads, we are just posting them. Under the guise of being an intermediary, they get away with things. This article is saying that let them not get away with these things. They have already got away with certain things when they were publishing ads related to PCP and DT. What is this PCP and DT? You will understand, just be with me. Since 1954, when this particular DMRA Act was passed, what has happened? Things have changed. Now you have internet, you have big tech platforms, social media, etc., and ads are being run there. These platforms have overtaken traditional media, and big tech companies, mostly American, we have talked about the example, they do not want advertiser against violating Indian laws like DMRA. So these ads, they are published on these big techs violating DMRA, violating PCP and DT Act, and government is not doing anything. Same thing they are not doing in US. These same companies, they do not run such fraudulent ad that COVID will be cured, drink this. Anybody, have you heard this particular ad anywhere? That COVID will be cured? You will not have COVID, you will not have this if you are eating this or drinking this. Even videos by God, we will not name any godman claiming to cure all diseases are promoted. So here, this article, this editorial is not targeting those godmen, neither they are naming them. We are not saying Baba Ramdev, etc. Baba Ramdev has never done that. How can he do that? He's so awesome. He's a vociferous supporter of Modi ji, and anybody who is a supporter of Modi ji, they can never do these kind of things. But has been done. It has been done, and these big tech giants were the arena where these ads were published, which is actually misleading. They should be punished for it. Ads for cow urine based cancer cures have appeared, some supported by these big techs. All these are violating this DMRA Act of 1954, which is actually not good. Double standard. They're not doing the same thing in US, where health claims are strictly regulated, because, and they are getting away with things in India because we know how Indian laws are being followed. Indian laws are ignored with impunity. That's what they are saying. This should not happen, and this is not a one-off case. Historically, they are doing that, and here these two authors of this editorial, they're very angry. They have said that they have no regard for Indian lives. Union Carbide case, Bhopal gas tragedy, all these things have happened. So they generally get away with loopholes. They run away from India whenever they are put behind or they are put for questions. Big Tech earlier violated this PCPNDT Act. PNDT Act it was earlier. Now it is PCPNDT, Preconception and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Act. What happened there? So we cannot know the sex of our kid, whether it's a boy or a girl, because there are states like Haryana where the sex ratio is very low sex ratio, you know. So we have strict laws, but then also now it does not happen. Earlier it used to happen that visit our center for knowing, and having a male child, they will not explicitly say this. They will say that if you want to have a male child, we will tell you how to do conception and all those stuff. So again, this is a violation of PCPNDT Act. So they have done that earlier, they continuously doing it right now also, and they're misusing their, oh my god, chhat songs are going on in the background, and they're misusing their intermediary status. That's what this article is saying. Big Tech falsely claims to be an intermediary. They're saying that we are not creating these acts. We are just a publisher. Even if you are a publisher, you should be penalized for what you are doing. They cannot claim legal immunity because they act as publishers, signing contracts, accepting payments. They can tell these guys, we cannot publish your ad because it is violating this act or that act, but they are not doing so. Maybe intentionally, and this is not done. Why? This editorial is so much fixated on big tech because they have a huge presence, guys. Huge presence. They change demography. You should understand. Money matters a lot. These big techs are not only used by these ads and all. They are also used by political parties. Let's imagine a political party which has a big amount of money. They can change political opinion by using these big techs. So these big techs, they have a major role to play, and they should know their value and status and use it accordingly for people's benefit. But again, that's nobody's focused on altruism. It's just on paper. So India must act firmly against big tech violation, but that thing again depends on political will. File criminal complaints, mandate India's. Now sometimes what they will do, these big techs, Google, Meta, Facebook, and all these companies, they're like, no, no, our manager is from US. He's not liable to Indian laws. So there should be a rule in these big techs that your manager should be Indian, so that he is liable to whatever you people are doing. Revoke intermediary immunity, platforms fail to comply. But sometimes when government itself are colluding with these big techs, then these things will not happen. But yes, there has to be some criminal liability and accountability. Big tech should not get away with all these things. Violation of PCP and DT, violation of DMRA Act, this is not correct. It's stupid. I mean, like, okay, let's not go there. So let's solve some question. MCQ 5, Drugs and Magic Remedies Act enacted to do what? Regulate pricing of essential medicines in India, prevent misleading advertisements of drug claiming to cure certain diseases, ban import of unapproved drugs into India, promote use of traditional medicine systems. Harshini has given the answer. Prevent misleading advertisements of drugs claiming to cure certain diseases. So Harshini, Mad King, Intush, Gajanan, all of you have given the answer. Very good here. MCQ 6, Preconception and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Act 1994 primarily aims to do what? Promote assisted reproductive technologies, provide free prenatal care for all women, encourage genetic testing for hereditary diseases, prohibit sex selection before and after conception. So Harshini has given the answer D. Prohibit sex selection before and after conception. That was the basic rationale of PCPN DT Act. Harshini, Iltush, Gajanan, very good. So the answer is D. Like, share, subscribe, spread the word. Okay, we'll talk about all these things later on. Page number 1, GS1. GS1 Geography. So Cyclone Montha is likely to cross, Andhra Pradesh district coast, and red alert has been issued. Now there are different kinds of alert which we have to understand. Red alert, orange alert, yellow alert, green alert. What are these alerts? Cyclone Montha is a tropical cyclone, and it originates over ocean and then go to nearby land. So Cyclone Montha. Now, what is the basic rationale? See, understand one thing. You should think why these tropical cyclones are originating now when we are nearing winter. Please understand, you should have these kind of thoughts that, generally cyclones should happen after summer. No, that is not the correct definition. Tropical cyclones you will witness during this period only. Why? Because land gets warmer faster, you know, faster. On the other hand, this the sea or water, it gets warmer slowly, it gets cooler so slowly, everything happens slowly, as Badsha says. So now land is becoming